This is VSiN, the sports betting network.
The numbers told the story, they always do.
It's one of those idiots who believe in analytics.
This is a numbers game with Gil Alexander on VSiN.
Good Thursday morning to you. It is a numbers game at VSiN, the sports betting network, VSiN.com, Game Plus, iHeartRadio, YouTube TV, Sirius XM Channel 158. However you're taking us in. I am grateful, as is this gentleman to my left. It's Gil Alexander. That's Kelly Bidlin.
Hey, how we doing?
Doing well. On a sort of sports light Thursday. In terms of schedules.
Yes, it is.
Major League Baseball was scheduled for 4 games. 25% of the schedule has been knocked out of by rain. So we're down to 3 games.
Are you
Major
serious?
League Baseball. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. 3. Wow.
3. We got 2 Crown games, though.
Uh-oh.
That comes in. And then a short NBA slate, too.
Yeah, 6 whole NBA games tonight. Yep.
Well, we get to talk about last night's NBA. We got to do that coming up here. NFL draft props. We're still, now we're less than a month out, right? We could say it's this month, finally. The NFL draft. I have more mocks to look at to sort of give us perspective on some of these over-unders, their draft position with some of these players. Never too early to check out the draft.
It's great having draft positions out.
New mocks.
I was going through this yesterday too, Gil. I kind of got 2. I like his bets already.
Oh, okay. All right. We'll do that. Final Four preview with Tim Murray this morning as well. Hey, Tim Murray from VSiN Primetime. Aren't we a game behind them in the bracket challenge?
Oh, I thought we were all tied.
We are. We're tied in points. We are tied.
Oh, yeah.
Record
but we're way ahead in action points.
We destroy them.
Because we're about that action.
We destroy everybody combined in action points.
That's right.
That's how good we are. Valero, Texas Open update. That should be fun because it's raining there, too. I do have a Charleston Open tennis play today after we went Splitsville yesterday, 1 up, 1 down for nothing. And then Zach Cohen, Zach and Crack, the real headliners for the day. With apologies to everybody else, Final Four at tennis with Zach, NBA with Zach, and then unscripted with the crack band, Bill Crackenberger. Looking forward to that.
You did just point out to me when I walked in the massive rain going on at the Valero Texas Open, and yet Dylan Wu is teeing up a ball right now.
Hey, he's trying to. Is he actually playing?
Yeah, he's playing.
Okay,
they're playing.
They're on the course. Excite. Very excite. Look how bad
so
it is.
Rainy. Like, where are we?
So gross out.
It's Scotland right now? Like, what is this?
It's Texas is what it is. San Antonio. All right, yesterday in the NBA, got beat on a Tankapalooza parlay again.
Yeah! Tankapalooza! DeMar DeRozan return game. Screwing things up.
Well, you know what the thing is? I should have taken, first of all, we are, we're 49-7 on these legs.
So silly,
That's
man.
not good enough. That's not good enough. That is now, we're 0.3 of a unit down. 0.3 of a unit down.
Mm-hmm.
This has basically been a waste of time.
I ended up not even putting one in last night because I started to see some of those Raptors injuries, too.
Well, the great Femi Abebefe and Will Hill, equally great Will Hill, were kind enough to have me on VSiN Primetime last night.
Thought I read that show report correctly. Wow.
Yeah, it was nice of them to have it.
Big times.
My joke was, I knew you guys would invite me on if there were 6 NBA games of 13-point spreads or greater. So they were kind enough to have me on. And one thing I did say, and I should have followed my own advice, and I am therefore an idiot. Let me just state that in advance. Because one of the things I was talking about was the tank versus tank game I mentioned, which was the Pacers game last night, Pacers and Bulls. And one of the things I mentioned and went out of my way sort of to mention was, we are at the point of the season now with 7 games roughly left, 6-7 games left for all these teams, where, some of these tanking teams now can afford to win basketball games.
Right.
So I mentioned that about the Pacers last night. I'm like, the Pacers actually, there's a couple games between them and dropping from 14% of the ping pong balls to 12.5% of the ping pong balls. They can actually win basketball games, where Chicago, who has no chance of even making the play-in, right, they actually are incentivized to lose now in a greater way because they don't want to drop from 4.5% of the ping pong balls to 3%.
Mm-hmm.
Indiana destroys them last night.
They want to stay in front of Milwaukee.
Correct.
Right? Yeah.
So, and that was, I should have listened to my own advice when it came to the Sacramento Kings. versus the Toronto Raptors last night because the Kings, they have 12.5% of the ping pong balls. They're in fourth worst right now. They don't want to fall. They're 2 games worse in the loss column than the Utah Jazz heading into last night. They don't want to fall below them or better than them, if you will, to get fewer, a less percentage of ping pong balls. Anyway, I said that on their show last night, didn't pay attention to that on the other game, and we pay the price. Thanks, Raptors.
Well, they're a team that should be, they should be in the race completely down. Like Sacramento should be trying to bank every loss possible. You don't want to move from 4 to 5.
They do.
Utah's right on their heels, and then theoretically they could still jump and catch Brooklyn or Indiana for getting that 2-3.
That's right. Well, they could go up from 12.5 to 14%. Right. I was, I'm sort of saying they could also fall from 12.5 to 10.5% of the ping pong balls. Anyway, it applied more to Indiana, but perhaps I should have paid that advice to Sacramento. But your point is sound as well. Theoretically, they could get better, in quotes. You always have to do the opposite here with quotes.
Yeah, I know.
with it. Anyway, we
I
lose.
think people know what we're talking about.
All of that to say we lost. We hit 3 out of the 4 legs, and we lose on the Take-A-Palooza parlay. So the whole thing has been a waste of time in 2018.
Yeah, I'll tell you the other...
2026 as opposed to 2018.
Just kind of other brain-dead things that I've been putting into action, though, here recently.
Oh.
And I know you texted me about it last night, too, just we often talk about these superstar players. It is, and I'm not a huge prop bettor, but to look over on their massive over numbers that are set already for their points, if you're talking about Jokic, PRA, everything, these guys, especially Wemby, is clearly gunning for this thing and is going to put. The first quarter of that game last night was absurd. Wembanyama-ness.
Well, there was a few things last night. One, when the Knicks and the Hawks and the Celtics covered their low spreads last night. Mm-hmm. Then there was a period of time where it looked like all the big spreads looked like they were going to... I was like, this is going to be an unbelievable night. Didn't turn out that way.
Right.
And by the way, with San Antonio, if you got the worst of the number, that was one of the worst losses against the number ever.
So
that was a Warriors garbage time bonanza.
So I hit on the Spurs. I talked about on the show yesterday. I had 12.5, right?
Yeah.
Ended up on Wemby over points and rebounds, get home easily. And then I'm just not as good as Chris Foster. And then I did the thing where I put them all in a same game parlay, and like it was like 6-1 or something like that. But what was it? Because I bet it late. That number was 14.5. So the only thing that burned me was the spread.
And the Spurs were up like 23 or something right before this. They ended up winning by 14. They beat the Warriors. But to your point about the MVP, so Victor Wembanyama yesterday, first half 27-13. For the game 41-18. They finally took him out. And he told Scott Van Pelt last night on ESPN, did Wembanyama, about whether or not he had MVP squarely in his sights. He said, quote, "I do care deeply about it. I think that of the greats that are in the Hall of Fame or the best of all time, they have fought and grabbed everything they could grab early on in their career. If I want to make my spot among the greats, I got to try to not miss any occasion to put my name up there."
Mm-hmm.
I will say this. If I knew he was going to go on this barnstorming tour of stumping for himself, whatever the old political metaphors are, I might have bet double on him.
I know. Well, and I think we might still like kind of have opportunities on a night-to-night basis here with this team, Gil. Like Zach and I were just doing Hardwood Handicappers, talking about this, and he's on the Clippers tonight. I show a little value on that Clippers number tonight as well with the Spurs coming off a back-to-back. I am not betting the Clippers, though, against this Spurs team right now and what Victor Wembanyama is looking to do. And if anything, it's me looking at the Spurs side more, hoping this number continues to come down. And I might be playing Wemby props again.
Spurs 2 games behind the Thunder for those who think that the MVP race will come down to what's the team's record. We talked a little bit about this with, or I did with Femi and Will last night also, because they were sort of saying for some voters, like the Bill Simmonses of the world, I think they quoted saying it might just come down to the team record. And I'm thinking to myself, if you have a vote for MVP and that's what your tiebreaker is, how stupid are you? That's your vote? That one day, what about the Spurs crushing them head to head? What about that?
So that's that's the other side of this specific conversation, right?
It's so stupid.
Record always comes into play in this race, but I hear what you're saying, especially with what Victor the Spurs did against them 4 out of 5 times this season.
Your stewardship of that vote is going to come down to the team having being 2 games better. if that's what it ends up. By the way, Jaylen Brown scored 43 for the Celtics, so Wilbon's vote for Jaylen Brown is going to be that much more solidified. Shot of Kelly shaking his head. Yes. 500 to 1 at the betting market, but Wilbon has decided he's going with Jaylen Brown.
Oh, it's painful, man. I mean, look, it's besides that point, that was a statement game from Boston last night for sure. That was big time. A triple-double out of Tatum in, I think, 38 minutes he played. Just to see him play that much, Jaylen Brown having another big scoring night doing what he's doing. This Miami team's tough to figure out right now. But that was big from Boston, and I think Boston has kind of solidified themselves as the team to beat heading in the Eastern Conference playoffs, Gil, at least for me. I'm not as confident in them as some others are, but they're number one in my power rankings right now for the Eastern Conference.
Yep. And I'm with the Spurs in the West. Spurs and Celtics, never wavered on that. Only bets I've made.
A great bet, man. That was such a great bet.
Well, that's what we're going with here. Right now, Shea minus 300 to win MVP, Victor 3-1. Luka 30-1, Nikola Jokic 100-1, Jaylen Brown 500-1. Those are the best numbers you can get for all those players at either FanDuel or DraftKings. Didn't extend beyond that. Maybe you'll be able to find a better stray number beyond those two books. But that's where that stands.
Jokic is still 100-1 at FanDuel?
Still 100-1 at FanDuel.
Boyd didn't pick up the phone after yesterday?
Boyd just a knockoff.
Yeah,
they respected by
like,
20
hey,
bucks.
we got this Gil Alexander who just came in. We had to move down to 25-1. You might want to adjust accordingly.
I should check Boyd to see if that even moved back at all.
Probably not. It's probably 25 still.
Yeah, see what happens with that. You got to get there in time.
That was funny.
It's a race to see what it is. Let's see. Awards, MVP.
Look at Gil's future. Spurs to win the finals, 125-1 on that matchup. Whew.
Jokic still 25-1 at Boyd. That's right. 20 bucks moved it. We'll come back. My tennis play and more. More NBA. It's a numbers game at VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
There is no other college basketball betting analyst quite like him. His passion is unparalleled. He handicaps every game, every day, all season long. Sleep is not an option for him. He stays fresh by running 12 miles a day, every day, while doing his podcast and answering your tweets. He is Greg Hoops Peterson.
Tame the madness of March by catching Greg Peterson on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
This is VSiN, a network of sports betting analysts, writers, hosts, and handicappers, all here to help you become a more confident bettor. We broadcast live every day from Las Vegas, the sports betting capital of the world, and from studios across the country, giving you insight from every angle of the action. Take VSiN with you wherever you go with the VSiN Watch app, or catch us on streaming platforms and regional sports networks. You can also listen live on SiriusXM Channel 158 and on radio stations nationwide. Check out VSiN.com as well for betting tools, exclusive betting splits, AI-powered player prop projections from Opta, pro picks for every game, plus in-depth betting guides and articles built to give you an edge. From sharp betting analysis and daily best bets to insider interviews and expert breakdowns, VSiN is your trusted source for everything happening in the world of sports betting. See everything we have to offer at VSiN.com and become part of the Sports Betting Network.
Coming up on the next edition of Follow the Money, Jay Billis joins the show to preview the Final Four and also talk draft. Doug Kazarian with his best bets in the women's Final Four and NBA. In the Meat Man, Steve West delivers lower leagues, EPL, and who's going to get relegated. And Gavin McCarthy with breakdowns on the Final Four. His write-ups have been fantastic. Follow the Money, 4 to 7 Eastern on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network, SiriusXM Channel 158.
VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
A numbers game brought to you by ProfitX. If you're not on ProfitX yet, Masters Week is the perfect time to start. New users get a sign-up bonus up to $100 in bonus cash. That's $100 in bonus cash just for getting started with promo code VSiNMM. MM is in March Madness. And next week, ProfitX is dropping their Masters of Your Domain contest. During the Masters, make one play of $50 or more on any Masters market, win or lose, and earn an entry to win a $1,000 golf prize of your choice. You can pick from $1,000 round of golf, $1,000 club of your choice, $1,000 gift card to any golf apparel brand. Win or lose on your play, you're still in the running. Download the ProfitX app. Use promo code VSiNMM. Make your first purchase. Earn that bonus and get in on the action at Augusta. Download ProfitX today and use promo code VSiNMM. That's exciting. $1,000.
Yes, sir.
I'm going around to golf. I'm with you.
Me too.
That's what I'm going. We get tweets beating the book. Always appreciate it. This is from the Mel Insiders. He says, hopefully Wemby's 41-point night does some swaying. Tailed you guys. He tailed Pod to the Future and you and me on some 30-1 Victor. Pod to the Future with Mitch Moss and Jonathan Von Tobel, wherever your podcasts are distributed. Jacob Ellis, who is the gentleman responsible for the Todd Wishnev Purple Wishnev Wednesdays image.
Fantastic.
It is fantastic. He says, you may have touched on this already. With the new ABS rules in MLB this year, is there an angle that could be vulnerable, thinking pitcher strikeouts, batter walks, etc., or is the 2 challenges per team too immaterial to make a meaningful difference? I don't know if it's too immaterial, Jacob. I just don't know what specifically we can sort of draw out for a bet with it quite yet. I don't know if we can really determine any patterns in this yet. Team by team, like, oh, this team is specifically really good at this or really bad at this, that kind of thing. Maybe someone smarter than me has come up with something. Duck fan for life. Gil, I don't want to sound like one of those people, but more and more WTA matches recently sure look suspicious. In your opinion, do you think we need to worry about match fixing in women's tennis? Always appreciate your insight. Thank you for the question, Duck fan for life. I mentioned, I don't know, about a few weeks ago. I don't know if it's fixed, because I'm not going to say that. That's not the word I used. What I said a few weeks ago was, it sure felt like we have gotten to a point in women's tennis, more than I ever remember, where if this existed to some, by the way, it's not just women's tennis, it's men's tennis, but I noticed it in women's tennis this year, where if you lose a very close set by tiebreaker, let's say, or just a grindy first set, the rate of collapse has been startling this year in the early going. I will give Duck fan for life that. Yeah, I have noticed that. You mean
with the if you lose the tiebreaker, just the next set they're just done completely.
Just the mental collapse of it.
Yeah.
There's been a lot. I mean, there's always been that, but it feels like the rate of that is much higher this year. I do acknowledge that.
I mean, hey, look, like this is like Gil and I love to say, don't read into this stuff for years as much. Like we've seen too many stories now where funny things are going on a tennis court, on a basketball court. Like it's. I actually really appreciate the wording of that.
I do too.
It is fair, and you should question anything that you might find suspicious for sure.
It is measured. Yes.
And guess what? We haven't used this line in a while. What's the greatest advantage you have as a bettor over the sportsbook? You don't have to bet every single match, every single game. They got to post everything.
Right, but though theoretically, if you don't know if that's going on, that doesn't really hold.
Well, my point is, if you're suspicious, just don't bet it.
Slick Nick 312. From Chicago, he's got a problem with us. He says, I think you guys forgot this league called the NHL's got 14 games tonight. Where's Jay Conn when you need him? Yeah, that's true. Stand corrected. Matthew Mayberry, I had all the tank teams in a round robin last night. I had Wemby over 30 points. He's clearly trying to go for these numbers, and I also added one more parlay with all these teams plus Wemby 30 points. I would have hit everything under the sun if the Raptors don't blank it up. Here's our favorite thing of the day. Richard Burkhart, a little listener on listener crime. I wonder how Mike Alvarez feels about this. Richard Burkhart goes, why don't you just say, Gil, mock draft is just your way of saying futures. Why don't we talk about NBA futures, about future futures? Not how I wanted to start my day. Mike Alvarez, he says, in quotes. I love that. Pickens Hard says, best 3 hours of my day. Thank you, sir. He says, hashtag truck driver. He's listening to us driving around the country. Thank you, Pickens Hard. And Trip Tepper said, I had to do it. Boosted Jokic to 120-1 at FanDuel for MVP. I don't blame you, Trip. I don't. He leads the league in rebounds and assists, for God's sakes. What are we talking about? Jesse Welch, I got another name for your guys' new basketball team, the Las Vegas Air Conditioners. after I got yesterday on the air conditioning thing. And not only did I get got, but my buddy over here, Kelly Bidlin, was already acquiescing to the terms of the April Fool's joke.
You know what's funny? There are things that I've embarrassed myself on air plenty of times over the years. I do not regret anything I said about that yesterday.
It was a really good April Fool's joke, unlike some of the others, which are just ridiculous, and you figure them out in a second, or they're just whatever. It was by Las Vegas locally, by the way, one of the guys who sort of monitors everything going on in Vegas. There's a cottage industry of those guys. I shouldn't say that. There's a few of them.
Yeah.
Handful of them. He's one of them. One of the prominent ones. And he came up with the air conditioning joke like that Las Vegas is going to charge for $28 for air conditioning in the hotel rooms, which is believable enough because of the gouging here that, again, not only did I believe it, but you'd be like, yeah, no, I'd pay for that.
Because none of them ever work. No. Your reaction yesterday initially was more spot on. That's not a good April Fool's joke to me.
Well, from him, it's not, because he's killing his game, his gig.
He's the type of person that would actually report on a change like that. So you're just confusing people. I hate working on April Fool's Day. And we do it every year, but it's always something. I don't feel bad about that one at all. I'm just glad we dodged any bullets about some terrible news or something that someone's messing around with on sports Twitter that we could have said on air, because that someone always tries to mess around with those things every year.
We came out relatively unscathed. That was our only mistake, which it was the unscathed.
I'll tell you, the biggest one I questioned yesterday was J. Cole to play professional hoops in China. Rapper J. Cole. That's a real story. That is actually a real story.
Is that right?
Yeah.
I didn't know he played.
He's actually played. This will be his third pro basketball stint.
Oh, maybe I did.
In different countries. Like, he's done it lightly, I guess.
Good luck, J. Cole.
Like, I think JVT sent me that last night. I was like, okay. Oh, sure. Yeah, totally.
You know what else is not an April Fool's joke? Kirk Cousins signed with the Raiders this morning. That report came out. That timing feels purposeful. We didn't want to do this on April 1st. Don't do it on April 1st, because people will doubt it.
It's a real thing.
No, I mean, by the way, it should, even on April 1st, there was no reason for us to doubt this. Kirk Cousins signing with the Raiders per Mike McCartney. Adam Schefter reporting that this morning. And what was my first reaction? My first reaction was, might they be the same human being? Like, just look at them facially. They're just kind of, they could be brothers.
It could be his uncle. Kirk could be his uncle. Kirk in those khakis.
Oh, easy. Kirk, he's not that. He doesn't look that old. Looks like his older brother.
Yeah, Fernando looks like he's 16 years old. It's more about how young he looks.
Facially, they look similar. And by the way, great move by the Raiders. Having Kirk Cousins, pardon me, unlike the Tua Michael Penix move.
Yes.
Which to me is more like, I think Tua's kind of hovering over this kid as I want to be the starter. This is, Kirk Cousins, 37 years old, if I'm not mistaken? I got to look up his age. I think he's 37. This is a perfect mentoring position here.
37. Yep.
Yeah.
No, you are absolutely correct. I mean, I think Atlanta, I'll give it some time, because I actually think more of the concern there is Tua just might be better, and we have a Penix problem. You know what I mean?
That's correct. That's part and parcel with that.
But for a mentor type backup situation, completely agree. I think this is actually, one of the better Raiders moves we've seen in a long time.
Yeah, love it. This is not till this afternoon, but I do have a tennis play today. Just want to squeeze it in right here. We'll repeat this later. One play in Charleston, South Carolina. I am on Anna Kalinskaya against Paula Badosa. Got Kalinskaya at plus 130 last night. You might even be able to get her for about a nickel better. Kalinskaya plus 130 versus Paula Badosa. I haven't said this in a while, Kelly Bidlin, but this is one of these tennis matches where I'm just going to suggest to you might want to watch. That's all.
I will. Check out what you mean by that later.
Enjoy.
I believe Zach was on Paula Badosa yesterday.
We were
right?
Oppo. He got the best of me, Oppo.
I haven't checked the site. I wonder if he's going back to Paula.
Maybe he is. We'll find out. He's on the show later.
We need that, because he and I were too in sync this morning on NBA, on Hardwood Handicappers. Yeah.
You have any NBA plays today?
I have one. I am very interested in this card. I have one for right now, Gil. Wouldn't be shocked if I end up with 3, 4, 5 by the end of the evening, but just kind of waiting on injuries, waiting to see where numbers move. So, pulled up openers last night. With how well the Lakers have been playing, I thought this was going to be an Oklahoma City smash spot tonight. I was planning on betting the Thunder pretty heavily. opens up 8.5. I was like, man, that's a little bit on the heavier side. I thought I was going to get a better number. Then I'm like, all right, let me go to bed. I'll check it in the morning, see where this thing moves. Okay, wake up 9.5.
9.5.
So the only thing I did last night, talked about targeting some of these guys that are clearly gunning for the MVP. You know I don't do this often. Same game parlay. I went Oklahoma City money line. I went over 3.5 made threes from Luka Doncic, and I went over 30.5 points with SGA. So that will pay about plus 230.
All right.
That's all I got for right now.
OKC trying to stay ahead of the surging San Antonio Spurs, who have won every game since the Eisenhower administration, are still 2 back of the Thunder.
It's crazy. Some of these are nuts.
I don't think my stat is correct, but you get the idea.
My Hawks win total is still live somehow?
That's insane. We'll come back. NFL draft position on players next on a numbers game right here at VSiN.
Time. There's nothing more valuable. It's what drives everyone to make the most of every moment. We celebrate living large in the now. In a city where time disappears, we create experiences that electrify the soul and memories that will last forever. We go big. We go all night. And here, everyone is invited. So get loose and get loud.
This is Circa. You'll have the time of your life.
Laptop or phone, couch or sportsbook, VSiN goes where you go. Wherever you watch VSiN, the experience stays seamless. Live shows, replays, and sports-specific clips all at your fingertips. VSiN Watch puts you in the driver's seat. Available in Roku, Samsung, Amazon, iOS, Android, app stores, or get it direct from the source at VSiN.com. Download VSiN Watch today on your favorite app store and join us on the Sports Betting Network.
This is VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Baseball season is here, and VSiN Pro just made it a whole lot more profitable with MLB AI player prop projections powered by Opta AI. We're giving you data-driven projections for both hitters and pitchers compared directly to DraftKings lines so you know exactly where the value is. And every day we break it all down into the top value plays and the strong plays so you don't have to do the heavy lifting. That's top value plays and strong plays. Get access now with a VSiN Pro subscription at vsin.com/MLB props. We get tweets, speed of the book. Let me read a few of these. Nemesis Enforcer. Love that. Nemesis Enforcer. At Prodigal Son, I believe it is. Excellent point on first set breakers. Oh, he's doing the opposite. He says, I've started looking in-game for first set breakers and getting good odds on first set loser to win second set, usually get good plus money. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, certainly that happens as well because there's usually a natural letdown. Not usually, but in some matches there's a natural letdown. I'm just saying I see less of that this year. I see more mental collapse this year. Chris Heath, the one tweet that Las Vegas locally did not copy-paste from Meltzer like Seltzer. Shout out to my boy Meltzer like Seltzer. Montreal Max, Canada, talk about a lottery ticket in Toronto yesterday as a Rockies-Kings parlay paid 21 to 1, 21 plus to 1, 21-61. Yeah, Rockies beat the Jays, and of course, as we talked about, the Kings beating the Raptors. Matt, who loves tacos so much, he says, thanks, right back to the show. He says, I wouldn't have started watching it if you didn't recommend it back in the day. Oh, he was talking to, he was talking about Love on the Spectrum that I had recommended before. I had no idea that it had started a new season.
21 to 1. It feels light.
Yeah. 3 Jock H3131 jumped on the Joker train 100 to 1 on FanDuel. I mean, why not, right? That's kind of my approach to it. And Scott, New York Mets 16, since eye-raising in tennis has come up, I thought you might be interested in this clip during one of your breaks. No urging of any kind. Some horse racing shenanigans he's talking about.
Well, there's a sport we know that's always on the up and up. Never any problems ever in the history of horse racing.
Edward Lefevre, who loves Paulo Badosa, he says, Gil continuing to sleep on Badosa is becoming a problem. Please start picking on someone else. Yeah, he acts like Badosa wins stuff. You know what the real problem is betting against Badosa? She might just quit with an injury at any point. That's the problem. And Nick, real Nick, so I'm not making fun of you or rooting against you, but in case you didn't notice, my Cleveland baseball team just won 4 of 7 in Seattle and L.A. to start the season. That's a bad and unexpected start to the under-win total. Why do they haunt you so much, Gilly? It's a long season. I wouldn't worry about it.
I'm going to do the college football guessing lines question to you right now, Gil.
Mm-hmm.
In L.A., Dodgers or Angels?
Dodgers.
The Dodgers.
Yes. Kelly Bidlin on top of the baseball schedule, as always. All right, so this is great because the NFL draft this month, 4 weeks away. 4 weeks from today, I believe.
Yeah.
4 weeks from today.
Yeah, I think you're dead on.
Or is it 3 weeks, maybe? Oh, no. I don't even know now.
3 weeks.
3 weeks. Right. 3 weeks today, the NFL draft. So we have position. We have draft position on
3 weeks, yeah.
Draft position, 3 weeks. We got the Masters, then we're right into the draft. Then the Derby is right after the draft. It don't stop.
Yeah, big next few weeks. Talked to Luke Swain a little bit yesterday. Probably be on the show with us next week or after. But he said it's great. It's great. A lot of these shops have these props up earlier than ever this year. But he hasn't made a single bet yet.
Hasn't made a bet. Talking about Vegas refund.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's go through some of these right here, Kelly. I'll let you. You want to shout out the player?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, so we have DraftKings currently, and I can't speak for all books, but DraftKings has 6 draft positions up on some of the bigger guys near the top. Arvel Reese set at 2.5, over plus 165, under minus 220.
All right, just for purposes here, over means drafted 3 or later. Under means drafted first or second. We should say that once, just because some people have a problem with that.
Some people.
By some people, I mean maybe us. All right, so Arvel Reese,
favorite Gil thing.
Arvel Reese. No, you know what's better than that? Higher and lower seeds in the NCAA tournament.
I disagree. Working with you over the years, you've had more problems with this one than either of the other ones.
All right, so Arvel Reese at 2.5. The under is juiced. So him going 1 or 2, and specifically 2, right? Because we know Mendoza's going first. So here are the latest draft. Here are the latest mocks. Last time I did Kuiper, Yates, and Jeremiah. This one I'll do 3 of. The first one is a rotating draft they just did at ESPN. You see this? This is Kuiper, Mel Kiper, Field Yates, Jordan Reed and Matt Miller, with Kuiper getting the first pick. Then it went to Miller, then Reed, then Yates, and they rotated. And their sort of task was, we want you guys to pick who you would personally pick at that moment. So don't think about the teams necessarily. So in that draft, Arvell Reese, Matt Miller took him second. Now the other two drafts, which are more traditional drafts, Yahoo Sports, Charles McDonald and Nate Tice, they took Reese second as well. And this is by the teams now we're talking about. And then Lance Zierlein over at NFL.com, he took Arvell Reese second. So all three go Arvell Reese second, which means the under at minus 220, properly priced, according to this.
I think I pulled up 5 mocks yesterday for one or two of those that you just mentioned. I pulled up as well. I have not seen at this 5 mocks yesterday, all within the past week that were done in the past week. Arvell Reese number 2 on every single
everywhere.
One.
Number 2. Next.
Still too far away for me to rush to. We are not scared to lay minus 220. That is not something you and I are scared of, but it feels
not right now.
Feels like we're a little too far away for me to rush and do that. Okay, next up we have Caleb Downs and his draft position set at 9.5, over minus 115, under minus 115.
Okay, so virtual coin flip at 9.5. The ESPN rotating draft, Jordan Reed took him 7th, Washington. The Yahoo draft, he went 7th to Washington. And the Lance Zierlein NFL.com draft, he went 16th to the Jets.
Yep.
So
that's the worst I've seen him, Gil. I've seen him as good as 5 and as bad as 16. So I'm going to give this one a little bit more time to figure itself out.
Feels a little undery, but we need more time.
Yeah.
All right. Another Ohio.
He was a hot name, though. He was a hot name early. That has come down a little bit. Okay.
How about a third Ohio State player?
Yeah, Carnell Tate, 7.5 his draft position. First wide receiver expected off the board. Over plus 135, under minus 175.
All right, Jordan Reed in the rotating ESPN draft took him 11th. He went in the Yahoo draft 14th to Baltimore. And he went 5th from Lance Zierlein over at NFL.com. So Tate is all over the place in this one.
Yep, looking here, I've seen him 6th to the Browns a couple times as well. I think this is one I would bet under right now, Gil, if this was available to me. I think he's the first wide receiver off the board. I think it happens pretty early. I think we're going to have a run of wide receivers like we've seen in some recent drafts.
2 out of the 3 went over here.
Yeah,
interesting.
Yeah, a lot of the ones I looked at and just kind of where it seems with some of these teams, I actually would bet under on the Cardell Tate.
I do feel like Downs and Tate, generally speaking, add Sonny Styles to this list as well. They're all over the place in these mocks.
Yes, they are. I think what's different though between because I'm pretty high on Caleb Downs too, but the big difference is there's a bunch of wide receivers that are expected to go, right? Caleb Downs is kind of a unique safety by himself that could be. There's not as much pressure. Might not be a run of wide receiver like there is going to be in the wide receiver room category, whatever.
Next
up, Jeremiah Love, 4.5, over minus 180, under plus 140.
All right, so if you remember last time we did Jeremiah Love, Kuiper and Yates went 4 and 7, and then Daniel Jeremiah went 4th to the Titans also. So 2 out of the 3 went 4th to the Titans. This time in the ESPN rotating draft, Kuiper took Jeremiah Love 5th because he was available, 5th to the Giants. The Yahoo draft of Charles McDonald and Nate Tice, 5th to the Giants. And then the Lance Zierlein NFL.com draft, 4th to the Titans. So he doesn't get past the Giants at 5. And what's his number here? 4.5. Of course it is.
Mm-hmm.
The over's minus 180. The under's plus 140. So that's interesting. So the Titans are now a bit of a dog in his draft position. By the way, if you just went to the Jeremiah Love specifically, where will he get drafted? The Titans are plus 135. So again, shop, because if you were to play, if you wanted the better price here, you would take the under 4.5.
Right.
At plus 140. But the only 3 teams, it's Titans 4, Giants 5, or Commanders 7. That's it. That's what it feels like.
I agree.
But I couldn't tell you where.
Unless we see, I think the Cardinals are a definite trade candidate at this point. I guess I'm already going to be shocked enough if we see a running back go in the top 5. Someone trading up into the 3rd pick to get a running back would even be more shocking to me. So I think I'm with you. I think it's going to be one of those three teams, but the draft position, it's unbettable.
One more.
All right, next up, we have Kenyon Sadiq, 15.5 over minus 205, under plus 155.
Kenyon Sadiq, the only tight end expected to be drafted in the first round out of Oregon, 15.5 over, way juiced at minus 205. Oh, man. Kuiper in the rotating draft, 9th to the Chiefs.
He's all over the place.
Yahoo, 23rd to the Eagles. NFL.com, Lance Zierlein, 15th to the Bucks. So good luck.
Gil, this is another one I'd bet right now. If this was available to me, I would bet the under on him. I think he goes early.
Would.
The speed he has, we've saw this with Kyle Pitts, that not that many teams are going to be able to pass it by him.
We'll do Ty Simpson on the other side. We'll talk to Tim Murray about the Final Four. It's a numbers game at VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
VSiN's player prop projection tool is now available for the NBA. Get projections for points, assists, rebounds, and more powered by Opta AI. On VSiN.com/NBA props, we line up our projections against the latest DraftKings odds so you can quickly spot mismatches and find value before the market adjusts. The NBA player prop projections tool is available exclusively to VSiN Pro subscribers. Check it out now at VSiN.com/NBA props and join us on the Sports Betting Network.
There is no other college basketball betting analyst quite like it. His passion is unparalleled. He handicaps every game, every day, all season long. Sleep is not an option for him. He stays fresh by running 12 miles a day, every day, while doing his podcast and answering your tweets. He is Greg Hoops Peterson.
Tame the madness of March by catching Greg Peterson on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
A numbers game brought to you by ProfitX. If you're not on ProfitX yet, Masters Week is the perfect time to start. New users get a sign-up bonus up to $100 in bonus cash just for getting started with promo code VSiNMM. That's MM as in March Madness. And next week, ProfitX dropping their Masters of your Domain contest. During the Masters, make one play of $50 or more on any Masters market, win or lose, and earn an entry to win a $1,000 golf prize of your choice. I'm out. Is that the kind of contest it is? A $1,000 round of golf, $1,000 club of your choice, $1,000 gift card to any golf apparel brand. Win or lose on your play, you're still in the running. Download the ProfitX app. Use promo code VSiNMM. Make your first purchase. Earn that bonus. Get in on the action at Augusta. Download ProfitX today. Use promo code VSiNMM.
What I'm really wondering about is if you can just combine some of the profit promos, right? Because then can I pay for the trip with one promo and then the golf course with the other promo?
Good call.
You know, and then the whole thing's paid for.
Let's make a call. We'll find out. Billy Charlebois. Oh, Billy, he was thanking me for turning him on to Love on the Spectrum. Billy Charlebois agrees. He says, you ever need a feel-good show, Love on the Spectrum is the absolute best show ever. Connor may be my favorite person on the planet. Please tell my Mariner fan friends who are freaking out that we are equal to being a half of a game into an NFL season. Yeah, people are overreacting it every which way. Keith Fortier, I am holding futures on both Wemby MVP and the Yukon men. Hold or hedge? I mean, I'm a holder. I'm not a hedger.
I think it's hold on both.
Yeah, Rick Ollier, big news, guys. The Raiders signed Fernando Mendoza just a few weeks before they draft Kirk Cousins. Pretty much. You look at him, I couldn't tell the difference. Ladies and gentlemen, Tim Murray joins us now. He is the host of VSiN Primetime, who we are here on a numbers game in a deadlock with in the VSiN Bracket Challenge. Equal points. I also think that...
why we even have him on the show? We shouldn't discuss strategies. Oh, gosh.
Maybe we can glean some information from him. I think Prop Points is also tied with us at points as well. Tim Murray joins us now, courtesy of the Progressive Guest Line. You can follow him on Twitter at 1. That's the number 1, Tim Murray. Good morning, sir.
Hello, gentlemen. How about our guy, Kirk Cousins, coming to town? We, in my neighborhood, I live right down the street, Gil, from the Raiders facility, and we have a house for rent, and I'm just looking for Kirk's number to call him up and say, hey, great school district. I've got a little guy you could have his 2 boys play with, so come on, be my neighbor, Kirk Cousins.
There you go.
Would you like to give your boy a shout-out since you bring it up, since you're wearing the Expos-like hat? No? You don't want to give him a shout?
No.
All right, well, here's the thing. Tim has a son who plays baseball. Have you seen this kid on Twitter who's 3 years old? Not on Twitter, pardon me. On like TikTok or Instagram, there's a father who's training his son in their basement. This kid at 3 years old, if this is the pace of his life, he'll be Barry Lamar Bonds. He's just unbelievable. Anyway, you got to see. I think it's Jay Fletch, something like that.
I'm finally looking it up right now because you've brought this up like 6 times.
It's incredible. This will make you love baseball so much. The joy of this kid playing the sport. Anyway, it's my little shout out to that. All right, Tim. Before we get to the Final Four tonight, we got 2 in the Crown. We got 2 in the NIT. Have any thoughts on any of those?
A couple small plays. Hey, let's embrace the final couple basketball games of the year. Initial thought is West Virginia as a short dog. It's essentially a pick 'em 1.5. That game's in the Crown. From what I've been told, West Virginia pumped up to be here. So I think West Virginia would be a slight look for me. And then, in the NIT, these games we played at Hinkle Fieldhouse, which I kind of love. I don't know if we can make this unfold moving forward. We had a really fun NIT championship a couple years ago with Indiana State inside Hinkle Fieldhouse. So Butler's facility will be the host for it. The market's coming in on Auburn a little bit here, Gil, late. 7.5 at FanDuel, 7.5 at DraftKings. I like the Redbirds a little bit here. Illinois State plus the 7.5. So that was a play for me, and I'll be sweating that out tonight. That's the second game of the NIT. So 2 small plays, nothing crazy, more just to kind of keep myself entertained as we wrap up the hoop season. But, Auburn 3-0 straight up, obviously, to get here, but 0-3 ATS. These numbers have been pretty high. So I'll take Illinois State plus the 7. And maybe we wait a little bit, Gil, because it does seem like the market is coming in on Auburn right now. Yeah. So maybe we get 7.5 or 8 out there. I know DraftKings, like I mentioned, and FanDuel. So be patient. You might be able to get the the G5 squad at a little bit better price as the day goes on.
All right, Tim, not sure if you're aware of this, but the Final Four is on Saturday. This just
It is?
Yeah, it's happening.
Ooh, man.
Illinois and UConn in the first of the two semis. The Illini now have settled in as a 2-point favorite pretty much everywhere on this now. Total 139.5. What do you think about this one?
So I do have an Illinois future, 15-1. Obviously, there were much better prices out there even pre-tournament, so I didn't get it at the best time. But, I love – well, let's just start with both these teams. I mean, the way both these teams are playing, the way Danny Hurley has just gotten this team to where they are yet again, you have to give the slight coaching edge to Hurley and his staff. Luke Murray is obviously moving on to Boston College, but will be there at the Final Four. And they've been here before. Alex Karaban was starting against Illinois when they went on, a 30-0 run in the Elite Eight a couple years ago. But I think, and this is just my kind of tinfoil hat, I think we're getting Illinois maybe just a little bit on sale because of what UConn has done here over the past couple of years, the win against Duke. So I think Illinois, to me, probably should be closer to maybe like a 3-point favorite in this one. So, I mean, you're splitting hairs, obviously. But, for me, I like Illinois here a little bit. Haven't bet it because I do think the public might continue to come in here on UConn, understandably so, with the run that Danny Hurley and the Huskies are on, not only 17-1 straight up, but 17-1 against the spread over the last 4 years in this tournament. So Illinois, though, I think pound for pound, Gil, I give the slight edge from a player personnel standpoint. And we had Brian Butch on the show earlier this week, former Wisconsin Badger, but also does work for the Big Ten Network. And I thought he had a great X factor in this game. And his X factor was Jake Davis. A guy that shoots at about 40% from three, comes off the bench for Illinois. Can he be a guy that comes in and hits some big shots here for the Illini? So I look at Illinois. Keaton Wagler will be the best player on the floor. Can Illinois keep Terrace Reed in check? Obviously, he's been an absolute monster throughout the NCAA tournament. So, look, these two games so tightly contested, but I do like Illinois here. And I'm going to wait and see if we could get a little bit of a cheaper money line price here on the Illini, because my expectation, Gil, is that we see a little bit of UConn love come in before this game tips off on Saturday.
It's an interesting point. Is there a little bit of UConn legacy baked into that, and perhaps UConn dramatics end of game against Duke?
A little bit, right?
Yeah, baked into that. What about the main event? Or at least that's how people are perceiving it. Michigan and Arizona, with Michigan favored by 1.5. This is after Arizona was initially favored. This swung to Michigan and is stuck right there the whole time. 157.5 the total.
Doesn't it feel like this game is the Spider-Man meme? Like, I look at these two teams and I'm like, they're the same thing. I mean, they both have enormous interior presence. They both are up-tempo teams. They're both top 5 in both offensive and defensive efficiency. And this isn't to knock Duke because they lost, and not that anyone's going to be like, oh, you Duke hater, because who likes Duke outside of a small population of the country? These are the two best teams in the country, and they've proven it, and they've looked the part throughout this NCAA tournament. And I hate being the guy that says, well, you should just bet this game live. But shouldn't you just bet this game live? I mean, we're looking at a total of 157.5, which is kind of NBA-esque for college basketball. And you're looking at a spread that essentially is a coin toss. So, is this a situation? I mentioned this yesterday when I was on with JVT, Gil, which is, the Nebraska-Iowa game was a coin toss, right? Much lower total, but it was a coin toss. At the first media timeout, Nebraska was up 12-2 and Iowa was plus 7.5. Is that the situation we look at here? So I think from a betting standpoint, I'm going to jump in on this game live because it's hard for me right now to determine which team I'd rather be on. If you had to say, all right, stop talking about live betting, we want a pre-flop decision, I think I go Michigan because of the 3-point shooting capabilities. Arizona can shoot it well. They just don't shoot it often, right? Michigan will shoot the three. So I think if I had to give the ever so slight edge here, it would be to Michigan. But man, these two teams are so similar. Their style of plays are similar. Their size is similar. So I will take Michigan just with the slightest lean. But I think for all folks listening in, this is a tremendous in-game betting opportunity with a high total and essentially a coin toss of a spread.
If you didn't have your Illinois future,